The one lesson I'd wanted to use for this particular gospel, I think, was one that I lost when everything corrupted. But this particular one is very good, so we'll use it. This one is titled The Healing of Christ. The healing of St. Peter's mother-in-law, which we saw over the weekend again, is characteristic of Jesus' miracles of healing. In St. Mark's Gospel, we read that Jesus drew near to her, took her hand, raised her up from the bed where she was suffering from a fever. The episode also shows the outcome of the healing. The person healed immediately resumes their normal life, thinking immediately of others and not themselves. This is significant, as it is a sign of true health. That same evening, after the Sabbath rest, the people of the village come to Jesus, bringing with them the sick and those who are possessed. From the very beginning of the Gospel, Jesus shows his predilection for those who are suffering in body and in spirit. It is the predilection of the Father, which Jesus incarnates and manifests in his work and his word. The disciples are eyewitnesses of the Lord's miracles. Jesus, however, does not expect them to be mere spectators, but instead invites them to share in his mission. He gives the 12 the power to heal the sick and to cast out demons. This shows that caring for the sick is not an optional activity for the church, but an integral part of her message and mission. Like Jesus, the Christian church is called to bring the tenderness of God to all of the suffering of humanity. You will remember that just this week, this past Thursday, was the World Day of the Sick on 11 February. That shows how important it is to help them, to be aware of them, and to serve them. The Church's commitment to caring for the sick, this essential mission of the Church, is particularly relevant today, when the world is living the experience of the coronavirus. Once more, the words of Job speak to our human condition, so high in dignity, and at the same time, so very fragile. Jesus does not give an explanation that answers the questions of suffering. Instead, he responds with a presence of love that bows down, takes the one who is suffering by the hand, and raises them up, just as he did with Peter's mother-in-law. The Son of God does not manifest his lordship from the top down or from a distance, but in closeness, in tenderness, and in compassion. The scriptures remind us that Jesus' compassion for the suffering is rooted in his intimate relationship with the Father. In the Gospels, Jesus rises very early before dawn and goes alone to a deserted place to pray. It is from this prayer, this alone time, that Jesus draws the strength to accomplish his ministry, his preaching, and his healing. You too can draw your strengths from your prayers, from taking your alone time and spending it with God.